Well, here we are after a fashion. It's been a bit of an emergency broadcast, this. Normally you'd find us live on the Twitch channel for Xciteracing League. Good evening to you all. I'm Pete Markoff, bringing you round number 10 of the PlayStation 4 GT3 division, live and exclusive here. Our counterparts on the Formula 1 2016 side have decided to broadcast round 3 of the Formula 1 Championship live using both channels. So at the emergency 11th hour, I've had to go onto the personal line. But rest assured, we are all here for you all to get you box comments out there, and the chat box is open. So those of you guys that want to get in on the box, give us your comments, give us any kind of things you want to say. We're here live and exclusive on twitch.tv. So live in Dubai, right by underneath the very hot scorching weather in the heart of the desert, a GP circuit which is a bit unusual in many ways, purely because of the different approaches that things are going on. Morphe7 is already saying cough cough F1 W stars. Well, I've no idea exactly what he's saying there. I'm not going to read that one. It's censored for the best of the editors. You can see Morphe watching here live anyway. So we got Skanky Bubby out on an outlap at the head of the chain for the qualifying laps. We've got 15 minutes here, and then after that we are going to be doing 1 hour of racing here in the desert. Not a twilight race like you see at Abu Dhabi in the F1 season. Not a night race like you see in Bahrain. This is going to be a pure case of in the cityscape, all the skyscrapers in the background, and lots of hard, heart-stopping action. And this circuit is a bit of an unusual one, kind of like a cross between the circuit of the Americas and maybe the race at Abu Dhabi itself in Yas Marina. It's got lots of long, straight, tight hairpins, fast-flowing chicanes. So it's a circuit that's kind of in between which way you go on the downforce settings. Do you go very high or do you go very low? Whichever way you do it, you've got to be out there and enjoy it. So ensure you get everything going as best as you can. And of course, get your comments in like Morphe7 has this evening if you want to interact here with the stream. Skanky Bubby is at the head of the chain in the Austin Martin V12 Vanquish. Right above his, he kicks that inside apex beautifully. Coming into the pit straight section now. Got a very unusual corner right at the end of the lap here, which is kind of similar to turn 14 at Malaysia, which is used in today's Formula 1 race, as you watch that. And if you're Hamilton's engine, you are reject of the race. So on to the start finish straight, getting them power down as much as he can. Skanky Bubby really trying to get all out attack here. Driver needs to get himself back into the thick of it and get some more points after that race at Spa we had a couple of weeks ago. Beautiful run on the inside, cooking the inside apex very, very well there, and he's trying to avoid going to these inside curbs. It's frustrating in many ways. Those curbs you'd think would be the perfect way to get in the line, but you have to actually go wide. It's kind of similar to the apex corners at the Nürburgring, where you have to go deep and then cut back in at the last second. Oh, a bit of a corner cut there from Skanky Bubby. I think he's just about got away with that. I don't think the game's given any penalties so far. He's not started slowing down. Nothing to show the lap time is not counting at this point. We have got a depleted grid tonight, unfortunately, because we are losing a few guys. Jamie F430 was at Brands Hatch today, marshalling for the British touring cars. I'm very jealous of that because that's one thing I've always wanted to do. But needless to say, still fantastic to see him out there, giving some trackside images. We do have some here in the PlayStation 4 group for Xciteracing League, so check them out if you are on PlayStation Network, and I'll see if Jamie can get a couple of those in there as well to put on the YouTube recast later on. So Skanky will be doing a decent lap so far, kind of setting the benchmark pace, 46.8. Guys behind on the 47.2, 47.5, so he's got a bit of a comfortable gap at the end of Sector 1, but there's 3 sectors here, and again, the circuit seems to get longer, get tighter, get more aggressive. You really have to nail your lap times if you're going to be able to find yourself being at the front of the apexes and being able to lead from the front. Skanky Bubby doing all he can to show that race-winning pedigree that he shows so far in this season to be able to push himself on and get maximum points here at round 10 PlayStation 4 for Xciteracing League GT3 division in Dubai. A little bit wide at that final hairpin there. Didn't really trouble the inside apex. Bit of a banker lap maybe here for Skanky Bubby. It's a long lap here. Nearly 2 minutes long in the GT3. So it's definitely a circuit which you really have to get your lap time nailed in. 55.2 though. That's faster than I've seen all practice from him. Xciteracing who has got a 1:55.3. So barely 8/100ths of a second slower in second place. And then Fraser Pant's a further second down on a 56.3. And he's actually dropped it at the first corner there. Why the 3 in the RUF. Let's pay attention to him. Had a good showing at the Monza race that we had a couple of weeks back, so he's wanted to try and capitalise on that, especially with the depleted grid. With only 8 drivers out there so far this weekend, it's going to be a case of who's got the maximum pace. A 56.3 from him, so that's very, very close. And behind him on a 57.4 is Dan RC 2010. So, moving further back, we've got Nizzle My Shiz, who's in the the Mercedes SLS. What a name that is. Nizzle my shiz. What is he trying to say with that one? Coming into the final series of corners in this very long nose, almost Batmobile-esque kind of style of the SLS. Got a lot of power, but it's also lacking a bit of downforce. A 58.5. You won't be pleased with that. And then Diogo Pinto, one of the big winners. Oh, he's gone very, very wide there in the Aston Martin V12 Vanquish. Almost got off the circuit. Very much a karting line in a monsoon rather than a standard line here at Dubai in the middle of the desert with the sun beating down the tarmac. 50 degrees out there. Maximum grip available for you drivers if you really attack. Well, needless to say, he really struggled there. Getting to the inside apex, going a bit wide, almost off to the outside there. Just about got into a grip. Well, 55.7, despite that massively wide line he took, he's made it work and got himself right near the front of the screen at the moment. But Ace Killer 15, is he on a better lap at the moment? Don't think he's actually gone around sector 1. Let's move a bit further back through the field. Fraser Pants has just completed another lap on a 56.3. No improvement from him. Dan RC 2010, meanwhile, in the BMW Z4, trying to get some extra pace out of that. A 57.4 is not where he wants to be. But again, I don't think he's actually on a lap at the moment. Let's move on to Ace Killer, who seems to be going through sectors 2, coming up to the end of the lap now. Is he going to get a better time here? 155.3, no improvement from him. Did a 158.1, so definitely off the pace on that lap, it has to be said. Why is the 3 though? He's just gone through to a 56.3. I think we're a bit out of sync in terms of where the lap times here at the sectors at the moment. It's difficult to keep up. Dan RC 2010 coming for the line. Is he going to improve? 57.4 is his previous best. No improvement from him. He's not gone any further forward. Very strange camera angle there. That's Fraser Pants in the BMW M3. One of the big surprises when it came to Monza. Came home 4th. Got some great points for him in his debut race here in Xciteracing League. And again, if those of you out there at the moment are looking for some league racing, Xciteracing League is not only hosting a GT3 race here in Project Cars, but we are going to be doing a Formula 1 2016 division. Keep it going. So keep in touch with me and the rest of the guys. We've got a community set up, Xciteracing League and Xciteracing League Formula 1. Both can be accessed on my profile here on PlayStation Network. If you're watching this live on the Twitch live stream on the interwebs itself, you can go to XciteracingLeague.com to find much more information about how we roll and how we race. And for the regular viewers at home, all I can say is I apologise. You've not got the webcam this week, so I've had to do a very late switch over to my own personal channel. I had it all set up, all personalised, all ready to go. And then I find out the Formula 1 guys have hogged both the channels. 56.3 from Fraser Pants. He's not improved, not gone any faster. Diogo Pinto's only just coming out of the pits. And why's the 3? Taking that line that Dio used to go on a very, very wide exit. You can see the middle of the tarmac where you got that snaky, darker line. All the drivers are eschewing that, using it to go on to the marbles and the dust. Very unusual way of driving a lap. Very difficult to understand exactly what they're aiming for. But so far it seems to be working, which is the contradiction. Heading for the start-finish line. Why's the 3? No improvement once again. So these drivers are struggling to put the extra pace. Skalky has gone a little faster at the top of the order on a 55.1, and for a bit of a response from Dio to go 55.5. But other than that, there's been no serious improvements so far. But Football 67611 trying to attack now in the BMW, in the RUF. He's not in the BMW, so oh, look at the damage on that car. It's almost like he's rolled it over. Lots of cracks, lots of dents. Really finding it much a case of being in the wars. And this is in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, with a depleted grid. So anything could happen at the race. Just because there's only 8 guys in the field, do not mistake yourself into thinking that this is going to be anything but a case of bonsai wheel-to-wheel racing. As Football 67611 comes to the final sides of the lap now, riding that curve beautifully on the inside there again. Oh, all 4 tyres on the outside. Lost a bit of grip there. I'm not sure if that's going to gain him anything. Oh, it's gained him a little bit. A 56.6. He has improved, but not by too much. Moving to the front end of the group, we've got Diogo Pinto on the 55.5. Currently running in P3. Good enough position for him so far. Can he make any improvement here? Can he gain any extra time? It's a bit wobbly on the outside of that hairpin. Heading down this very deep, long straight that bends down. Kind of similar to the middle of Istanbul Park in Turkey. Kicks the inside curve beautifully there. Oh, almost goes into the outside brake boards. And again, very, very wide at that corner. All the drivers favouring the almost NASCAR line, trying to get as close to the outside stadium rather than kissing the inside apexes like you'd see in Formula 1 and World Endurance Racing. So it's very different style of driving on display here tonight from these guys. Oh, he almost goes off 4 tyres over the inside there. And again, right to the outside, hitting that curb, losing grip. No improvement in lap time from him. Fraser Pants meanwhile drifting aggressively through those opening chicanes there in the BMW M3, really pushing that car to the absolute limit, but somehow getting away with it. Sorry, there's a slight technical glitch here. Bear with me a second. I'm not quite sure what's going on my computer. It's giving me all kinds of weird blinking warnings, so I do apologise. Oh, big spin there from Fraser Pants. He's completely lost it and got back into the pits. He's completely messed that up. Really got that wrong and paid the price for it. Needless to say, it wasn't exactly his ideal way of watching, it has to be said. So he's going to try and find himself, get back into the field, try and get back into the points where he can. I'm just refreshing my chat channel because I had a bit of a problem there on the inside. Xciteracing clipping the inside apex with a little bit of a drift, really struggling to get the grip down. Got a much more traditional line through that hairpin. So seeing the likes of Diogo Pinto, the likes of Xciter3 going on a much more wider, aggressive line. Looking, speaking of Diogo Pinto, how wide did he go there? He went totally off the circuit, but he's kept out of the way. Xciteracing's not been compromised, not lost any downforce or any grip, and he's not had to change direction, so he'd be happy with that. But you have to question why Diogo Pinto was going all the way out there. Maybe he thought he'd go digging for treasure in the desert, I don't know. And he's gone to that much more traditional line there, Xciter15, really favouring that traditional tarmac, keeping on the ribbon, trying to get maximum power out of these four tyres as much as possible here in the desert, where it gets very hot, very grippy. Early on the brakes, going for that frustratingly long corner, trying to make sure he gets the inside apexes beautifully. Goes over the outside slightly. No improvement in lap time from him. Meanwhile, Skarky Puppy in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage is actually being chased quite quickly by Fraser Pants in the BMW M3. So he's got to be careful that he doesn't get compromised here, because if Fraser gets a better run out of one of these corners, he might find his grip being compromised as he gets slipped straight down towards these tight hairpins. Almost like a racing lap here. These guys aren't yet free to attack each other, but that may come yet way. And a 55-1 so far from Skarky Bubby is at the top of the tree. He's got a good 0.2 of a second in hand over Xciteracing at the moment. Question is, can he extend that buffer? Can he get into the 54s and really give himself a chance there? Ooh, look, he lost a bit of grip as he hit that inside curb. Just about got away with that. Rides to the inside curve again. Front left tyre going off the ground there. Really eschewing the grip. Finding it difficult to get the power down in this Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Bit wide on the inside, managing to highlight it together at the moment. So far, so good for Skarky Puppy. After this, we've got a 5-minute warm-up session for these drivers to find that little extra grip, maybe see if the track's changed and acclimatised between sessions, and then we've got 1 hour of racing on the clock, live here in Dubai, and it's going to be all-out attack. Live here and exclusive on twitch.tv, my channel Swishbone. And those guys of you watching on the PlayStation Network, hello, welcome to all of you. And again, the chat box is open, so if you want to get your messages in there, please do so. Unfortunately, due to the way the broadcast goes, I've not got the facility to receive messages through PlayStation Network. And a 54.8 from Skarky Puppy. Answer that one if you can. The challenge has been thrown down with a minute and a half to go. Xciter15 will be demoralised by that. He's a good half a second off at the moment. Can he improve? Can he put himself into the challenge here to get himself closer to Skarky Puppy at the top of the order? Or is Skarky going to have this all too easy and get himself to lead on, going for the start-finish line? This is his last chance to lose for Xciter15. It's an improvement to a 55-0, but it's not enough. Meanwhile, behind him, Diogo Pinto has gone to a 54.9 out of nowhere to go second. Can Football 67611 in the RUF get any closer to these guys? It's a full second down at the moment. A bit of a two-tier race like an LMP1 versus LMP2 in the way these GT3 drivers are going into the final series of corners here for Football 67611. Going a little wide on the outside there, but no real danger with all the extra AstroTurf and the extra asphalt on the outside. You can run wide and not really get troubled for it. Now, of course, if you see this gaining an advantage too much, you might find yourself in a conversation with the stewards. And Football 67611 riding that inside apex absolutely perfectly there. Going on to the outside, kissing the curb, beautifully done so far. This is all-out attack for football 6-7-6-2-1. But is he going to find any improvement in his pace? Is he going to be able to get himself to the top of the order? It's going to be a big ask here in the RUF, but he's going to do it all out for glory as much as he can. Beautiful cornering there. All four tyres kept beautifully inside the white line, but no improvement. And I get the feeling that might be pretty much it, because Nizzle My Shiz has only just gone round the start finish of the lap, and I'm sat in the garage where I belong. So I think that's pretty much it in terms of the grid so far. And Skoggy Bobby on a 154.8, only 1/10 of a second clear of Diogo Pinto, who's found the pace when it mattered. Then we've got Ace Kill 50 on a 55.0, Football 6-7-6-2 on a 56.2, and then we've got Dan RC 2010 also on a 56.2, so there's barely anything between them. 56.3 from Freighter Parts, and then a 56.3 from White to the 3, and then right about Nizzle My Shiz on a 57.4. So again, as I said before, very much LMP1 versus LMP2 in terms of the pace so far. But let's get out there and watch the warm-up. Skoggy Bobby going out ahead of the snake once again, trying to get that extra recon, making sure he can find out if there's any change in the track. Has the grip fallen away? Has the temperature dropped between sessions? Is there more debris out there that might chew your tyres? Whatever it is, Skoggy Bobby is out there to find it. We've got 4.5 minutes, and then after that we will be racing live and exclusive here on twitch.tv on my own personal channel for once. We're breaking the rules here tonight, but who gives a damn, because you're all here and we're all going to watch it and we're all going to enjoy it. So Skoggy Bobby pushing the outside grip there. Oh, he's got all four tyres over the inside of the curb there. So he's gone and turned in too early, gained too much grip, and found himself going too over the inside edge. Now, if you do that too many times in the game, you'll probably get a penalty that'll slow your car down for 5 seconds. But if the game doesn't punish you for it, and you've seen doing it too many times, the stewards have shown before, both in the F1 races and the GT3 races and the Forza races too, that it's very easy to find yourself on the wrong side of the stewards and getting a penalty. So he's got to be careful that he doesn't find himself getting an advantage and having that rub taken away from him. Skoggy will be pretty much the championship leader here in this behind. Well, he's not the championship leader actually. It's Ace Color 15 leads the championship. So Skoggy Puppy has got to pull it back together after that dramatic retirement that he had at Monza, when he ended up being lapped by the entire field and lost a whole chunk of points in that one. That broadcast can be found on the Xciteracing League YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Xciteracing League. Not only have we got the GT3 divisions on the PlayStation 4, but we've got all the LMP races from the Xbox One, and all the classic races with me and Dan Fisk in the box, along with Adam Roberts as well for the F1, F4 races from the past couple of years. Get out there, there's about 100 videos and there's hundreds of hours of content. So get on there, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and get your comments in for more from Xciteracing League. As Skoggy Bobby comes over to set the initial pace on the wall, but it's not really going to give us much in the way of an indicator of this. He's actually had the lap time deleted because of that internal corner cut that he made. So evidently not finding much sympathy. Nizzle My Shiz goes back to the pit. So let's round up with Diogo Pinto then in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. He's very much the challenger to Skoggy Puppy this week. He's shown that he could bring the pace with that demonic lap that he's pulled out of nowhere to close that down to 1/10 of a second after being very much half to a second off the pace. Maybe he was sandbagging. Maybe he was trying to catch Skoggy Puppy out. Whatever it was, it has worked, because those two Aston Martins are leading the pace in this week's race so far. But then again, it's only qualifying. It's only warm-up. Until the checkered flag falls, anything can happen, and Skoggy Puppy will tell you that himself with that debacle at Monza. Diogo Pinto also not setting a lap time, so the game not giving these guys a free ride so far, it would seem. Moving further back, we've not got many other people out on the track actually. It looks like it's just the Aston Martins treating this very much like a private test session, pre-season winter testing, rather than a case of a warm-up at the race weekend. And for those of you, again, who are watching this live and exclusively on twitch.tv, live on the internet, the chat box is open. So please feel free to get your comments in there, and we'll happily interact with them where we can. Morphy7, who was already having a quick dig at the F1 comrades, please don't do that. Those guys work really hard. Saying cough, cough, F1W. Fill in the gaps. I'm not going to fill it for you. So Skanky Puppy now coming up towards the final hairpin corner to set the initial pace in this warm-up lap area, just to give us some kind of idea of the underlying race pace. Has he got race fuel on for? Has he gone for a different type of tyre? I don't think so. A 155.7, that's definitely not someone who's sandbagging and saving his pace and running on heavy fuel. That's someone who's putting some underlying power. Wise the 3, meanwhile, in the RUF. Don't know if he's actually on lap time at the moment, so I don't know if this is going to count. Bit of an underwhelming warm-up, it has to be said. Well, Skanky Puppy is out on his own pretty much. The only other person out there at the moment is Xciteracing. I don't think he's going to get round to set a lap time here, so I don't think we're really going to get any kind of indication of the pace that these drivers have available. It's one that's going to be quite tricky, it has to be said. On the stream, Cobra75 is saying, evening, looking forward to join you next round. And we're looking very much forward to having you there because the next round's a special one. Live at Road America, we'll be doing an IndyCar race. So talk about throwing yourself into the fire. Welcome to the league, Cobra75. Hoping to see a lot more from you next week and enjoy the race so far. I mean, obviously, we've got the race to start in about 30 seconds time here. We have one warm-up lap in formation. After that, it's very much a case of on the attack, all-out racing, balls to the wall here in the desert of Dubai. So the drivers will all be going out to the track, so let's get out there as quick as we can. Oh, this season we've had a repeat of the last race at Monza, where we had Fraser Pants going through, forgetting the fact that you have to stay in formation, but I think he's realised it, and he's letting everyone back through. Fraser Pants once again caught out by the fact that there is a warm-up lap here, a formation lap, so to speak. After this, it's a rolling start. All drivers will be going all-out attack, and it's a case of who's got the pace, who's got the power. It's going to be a very much interesting race to watch this in the middle of the desert of Dubai. In the past, it's been a race that's shown a bit of issues with the likes of retirements and connection problems, so it's going to be a case of whether these drivers can hold it together. There's no threat of rain here. There's going to be absolutely no danger of that. It's going to be an all-out 1 hour long race of pure asphalt driving. All drivers have to go into the pits. They have to make at least one stop. Whether they do in that stop is up to them, but they have to stop at least once. Now the question is, are the drivers going to go a bit tortoise-like, try and save the tyres, run maybe a second a lap down on the pace to save the rubber, or are we going to see them doing a much more aggressive, all-out attack approach of really pushing those tyres, burning out the rubber, stopping, changing and going? It's a question of who's got the pace and who's got the performance here. So Skanky Puppy leads from Diogo Pinto on this opening lap, and Dio needs to close that gap up realistically. We're getting close to the start of the race here, but if he ends up staying that far behind, not only will he be under threat from Xciteracing in the RUF, but he'll give a free ride up front to Skanky Puppy. Then we've got Football 676-1 and DanRC 2010 behind them. So these guys have all got to start closing up to each other, much like a safety car start in Formula 1, if you're going to really give yourself a chance of getting those maximum points. Diogo Pinto now slipping in behind Skanky Puppy, and then behind him we've got Xciteracing, then Football 676-1, DanRC 2010 in 5th place, Wise the 3 is 6th, then we've got Fraser Pants down in 7th, and lastly Nizzle My Shits rounding off the top 8. It's only 8 drivers, it's a depleted field, and you can see a Skanky over here slowing everyone up, and look at Diogo Pinto trying to get deep under that wing. He's not full, but look at Xciteracing as well. This is almost going to be side by side going for the line here. Let's run aboard with Xciteracing in the RUF. This will give us the best opportunity to view it, and after this corner it's going to be lights out, and away we go, and Diogo Pinto gets deep into the slipstream, followed quickly by Xciteracing. Then behind them we've got Football 676-1 and DanRC 2010 going down this fast straight. You got Diogo Pinto dipping right under the wing, figure out dive on the inside to turn 1. It's a tight hairpin, very similar to the Nürburgring. Hangs on the inside there as DanRC 2010 gets a look on the inside of Football 676-1. Wise the 3 meanwhile also had to try and outtrack the pair of them, and Fraser Pants on the inside, and the BMW M3 has gone through. So Football 676-1 as Fraser Pants makes a magnificent double overtake around the outside of the corner to make that into 5th place. Beautiful driving. Meanwhile, Xciteracing up ahead, really getting under the wing of Diogo Pinto. Diogo Pinto under real pressure here as Skanky Puppy starts to pull away, but at the back it's all going off. There's chaos here as Fraser Pants backs up the field a little bit. Xciteracing's made a bit of a mistake in that there, and he's now gone down to 4th position. Unbelievable action here as Fraser Pants in 5th place now tries to size up the championship leader so far. far. Then we've got Dallas 2010, 6th place, taking a look at the back of Fraser Pants to the BMW. And Fraser Pants getting a great run on the inside. It's Kilverdine in real trouble here. I don't know if he's had some kind of corner cutting penalty or whatever it is, but he's dropped down the field dramatically. He's now down in 4th position as Fraser Pants looks on the inside, followed by Wise the 3, hanging on the inside beautifully. Xciteracing forces Fraser Pants wide, and that allows Wise the 3 to get deep into the toe here, really getting under the wing, and you can see that these guys all hanging on the back of each other. Nizzleman Shiz at the foot of the field looks on as Dallas 2010 tries to slew one at the inside of Wise the 3. Xciteracing trying to hang on at the back of Football 676 number 1, but Fraser Pants to the BMW at the 3 now, really attacking, getting really aggressive here on the inside of that BMW at the 3, really pushing hard, but Wise the 3, oh, big mistake with Dallas 2010, he's gone so wide. He's almost an Abu Dhabi, although Dubai. What kind of corner it was that from him as Football 676 number 1 leads on from Xciteracing. Behind him, we've got the BMW Fraser Pants attacking as much as possible. Field possibly starting to settle down. Up ahead, Skarky Bubby has got a big lead on Diogo Pinto. Then we've got Football 676 number 1. Football 676 number 3rd place. Then we've got Xciteracing in 4th. But look at this from Fraser Pants. Maximum drafting from him. He's leaving it for absolutely dead. He's got so much extra speed. Going into the first curve contact. Both drivers making a big mistake as Nizzleman Shiz goes very, very wide, but hangs it on. Xciteracing and Fraser Pants still side by side going through this quick series of chicanes. Xciteracing not giving up, going the long way round here. Very similar to turn 15 at the Circuit of the Americas. And you can see that Fraser Pants finally gets ahead of him, but Xciteracing made him fight for that one. Xciteracing trying to cut back on Fraser Pants, who's really struggling in that BMW M3. These guys are really putting on a clinic, as I said before. There might only be 8 races here, but we've got 55 minutes to go. And these guys are all absolutely attacking each other. The race may start to settle down here as Fraser Pants gets away at the moment. Xciteracing trying to get behind him, trying to close that gap up as much as he can. But he's now got to watch out because Wise the 3 and his sister RUF has now started to sandwich him and get deep in the toe. So Wise the 3 has shown before he can fight, he can claw his way into positions and get lots of points, so do not count him out at the moment as Fraser Pants starts to slowly pull away from Xciteracing. Now that he's been freed, he's got clean air, he's not got that loss of downforce, he's not got that panic of where the car's going to go, and up ahead of him Football 676 to order slowly started to be reeled in, so these guys started to close back up and bring the fight. Wise the 3 trying to catch up to the back of Xciteracing, who's really making him work hard. And in fact, he's actually gone into the pits. That's the Xciteracing. He's gone into the pits after only 6 minutes. Now this is interesting. This is a very strange strategic call here from Xciteracing. This is monumentally early. Is he thinking a master plan to try to get in, change the tyres, and then get himself to so much clear air that he'll be able to drag himself to the front and really pull himself back into order? Because that's very much a case of his pit stop done already. He's got himself out of the wars, he's got himself out of traffic, and he's going to be about 25 seconds behind these guys. So he's got a huge open field to aim at. Lots of position here, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't find himself in the case of being lapped by the likes of Skarky Bubby and the likes of Diogo Pinto, because blue flags will ruin that strategy. He's got to work hard to make this work. But you can see that Fraser Pants, meanwhile, in the BMW M3 has started to get tucked up behind Football 676 number 1. And if he starts getting slowed down enough, he'll be losing 1 or 2 seconds a lap. And that will work in Ace Killer's advantage on the undercut, as it's known in Formula 1. And again, the middle of the desert, it's not a track that's got a lot of fast corners, so technically it shouldn't be too much of a tyre breaker apart from the heat. Can Xciteracing make a really long one-stop strategy work? We saw Mark Webber famously do that in 2013 at the Suzuka Japanese Grand Prix when he was hit by Roman Grosjean on the first lap and effectively made a one-stop work. It has been done, but it takes a lot of effort. And now Fraser Pants in the BMW M3 is not going to wait to find out. He's already got his front end stoved in a little bit there. He's very much been in the case of the battles. He's trying to go the long way round, trying to force the mistake from Football 676 number 1, who hangs him out to dry. Well, Fraser Pants Pants is not giving up here in the BMW M3, trying to attack as much as possible, takes a tighter line, trying to swing on the wide line at the inside there to get maximum power out of the car, goes slightly over the circuit using the extra roll-off to his advantage, coming into the final corner, and once again Football 676 number 1 just able to resist. Maybe he's got that extra straight line speed, maybe he's got that extra performance, whatever it is, it's working. Fraser Pants is hanging on so far, getting in the slipstream now in the BMW M3, and we've seen already the maximum power that has. He showed that he could do this earlier on Ace Kill 15, but Football 676 number 1 just a fraction of an inch too far away. He couldn't make the lunge there, but he'll fancy his chances down into this tight hairpin coming up after this very, very long, flat out long bend. And you can see Football 676-1 made a mistake there, went a bit too wide, and that's opened the door for Fraser Pants now. He's got a much cleaner entry in that, really able to lead on the tyres. And Football 676-1 struggling here, trying to hook the inside line. Fraser Pants trying the wall of death around the outside, but Fraser Pants not able to find the grip there, and he has to settle back into 4th place. Well, Football 676-1 gets poor traction up the corner, and Fraser Pants is going to go for it. He's going to try and go the long way round. They're side by side here. Fraser Pants has got the better legs on the engine. That V8 BMW clearly giving him that little extra boost that's giving him the push he needs down that straight. With Football 676-1 taking a very tight inside line there, trying to go back on him and trying to cut back under the inside. Well, Fraser Pants has got the move done and dusted. Great performance from him, but now Football 676-1 getting decent slipstream going on to the final bend here, really pushing Fraser Pants on. These guys treating this like the touring car race at Brands Hatch today, rather than the Le Mans and Formula 1 races you're used to seeing more commonly in these cars. Football 676-1 getting deep into the toe of Fraser Pants. He goes a little wobbly, he goes a bit wide there. Now Football 676-1 got great chances to look up for Fraser Pants. He's gone way too wide, but at the same time Fraser Pants now is going to try and swing around the outside. These guys pushing each other, hammer and tongs, pushing really, really hard here. Fraser Pants hanging on the inside, for trying to go and cut underneath. Football 676-1 is going to drift wide to the outside line. Football 676-1 is going to be in real danger here because of the power of BMW V8 in the M3. Pulls out of the slipstream, gets deep with all the power, and I think this is going to be a case of thank you very much and good night from Fraser Pants here. Goes to 3rd place ahead of Football 676-1. Can Football react? Can he force him into a mistake on the brakes? Oh, maybe he has actually. He's lost a bit of traction there, Fraser Pants. And that's now opened the door for Football once again, who tries to go around the outside here. Fraser Pants hanging on as much as he can. 49 minutes left of this race, viewers. Exhilarating action here in Dubai, live and exclusive on twitch.tv for Xciteracing League and their PlayStation 4 race division. Or, of course, you may be watching this on the YouTube replay. In case if you are, drop a like and subscribe and get your comments in the box to get more from Xciteracing League. We've got hundreds of races, streams, broadcasts, and all kinds of stuff for you to check out live on the channel. Fraser Pants now has opened the gap a little bit, so let's move further forward. You can see the Scocky Puppy has a good 3 or 4 seconds clear on Diogo Pinto. Diogo Pinto has just not been able to react to the performance. Fraser Pants now slowly starting to pull away from Football 676-1, who's still fighting as hard as he can. As Fraser Pants once again making a complete hash of that corner, and that's allowing Football 676-1 to really close up to him in the final part of the lap. Now, can the Hunter survive being the hunted on these long straights with the power of the slipstream and that power in the Porsche? It's going to be a difficult ask here, and Fraser Pants really finding it tough to hang on. Football 676-1 and Fraser Pants putting on a clinic here. These guys battling at each other lap after lap, being really aggressive, and Fraser Pants goes on the wide line. Look at Football 676-1 on the flip side, going wide at the first corner, tight at the second, so it's a case of heads and tails and the way you take these corners. Both guys pushing as much as they can. Fraser Pants going a little wide there at the final corner. That might compromise his exit, and Football 676-1 uses less distance and gets better traction. So there's a great opportunity now. Gets deep in the slipstream, gets right underneath the wing, but you can see the power advantage of the BMW. It's just able to pull away. It's a big difference maker, and as a result of that, Football 676-1 just not able to respond at this moment. However, we have seen him do better in the middle sector, so don't count him out. Football 676-1 getting a better entry at that corner from Fraser Pants in the BMW Dayglow car, really finding it a tricky baptism of fire here in the deserts of Dubai. And football 67601 on the charge. And he's got a much better reaction out of that corner there. He's got much better performance. And he's got deep into the toe. And he might fancy his chances here. Late breaking in the hairpin. Is he going to pull out the slipstream? No, he just backs off of it. Just a bit too far behind, I think. And I get the feeling he's going to sit and wait for now. But there is time for that to change. As football 67601 once again gets a better line out of that corner. He sees so much more confident in the RUF of leaning on the tyres, and that's allowing him to close up so much on the back of Fraser Pants in the BMW. Fraser Pants really struggling to attack here, really finding it tricky to get the power down. Fraser Pants really having to hang on here. Football 67601 is making this very much a scrap, and it's not what Fraser Pants wants. He wants that cruise to the podium, and he's just not having his way. As football 67601 dives on the inside, maybe a little bit of contact there. He's forced Fraser Pants onto the more traditional line, and football 67601 unsettling the BMW driver, really giving himself an opportunity now. Getting into the final hairpin corner. Can he get a better line? Can he get a better performance here? Seems to find a tighter line slightly, uses slightly less distance. As you can see, he's just been able to close that gap. But that BMW has got such a great performance in a straight line. Maybe it's running less wing. Maybe it's got more power in the engine. Maybe it's a fusion of both. Whatever it is, it's enough for him to hang away. But he's gone very wide at our first corner. And football 67601 will now fancy his chances here as Fraser Pants tries to get back on the traditional line halfway through. Fraser Pants in real trouble here as football 67601 sides up the inside. Too close to it, making any kind of move there. It's just not really any option. But Fraser Pants going very wide, and so did football 67601. Both going off the circuit slightly there, but manages to get away with it because instead of a gravel trap, there's asphalt. And they've been able to get back on the circuit as a result. Behind them slowly is Wise the 3, who's not really close in the fight. Same with RC 2010. H-Killer 15 down at the bottom of the points, and then, well, evidently we've lost Nizzle Ice Shiz as well, so we've had a retirement. We're down to 7 runners and riders. Wow. So football 67601 has become the first quarter of the race is over, and he gets a much better run there than Fraser Pants, who almost seemed to spin the car, sort of. Lost a lot of traction there, and that's allowed football 67601 to really close up. I'd love to show you much more of the field at the moment, but these guys are so close, and they've been together pretty much from the start. They've really had to push hard and make things work here, but football 67601, despite having to do late cover of the organisation due to Jamie being at the touring cars, he's made this work in his race. It's not unsettled his racecraft, and he's really attacking the back of Fraser Pants. Fraser Pants really having to hang on because you see him, he's getting all sorts of scrappy lines there. He favours that wide line at the second corner, whereas football 67601 is very much the reverse of that. Both drivers are crossing the streams like Ghostbusters, and unfortunately neither one getting a total platonic reversal. Football 67601 getting a great run on the slipstream behind the BMW of Fraser Pants, who gets a much better line at our first corner, riding the curb, using it for that extra drifting action around the corner. But football 67601 now doing all he can to battle back on Fraser Pants, but it's just proving so difficult. He's really having to push hard and really attack, and that's going to be burning out his tyres. And again, with Ace Colour 15 going into the box so early, what kind of factor is he going to have in the race later on? Is he going to be someone who really brings this to the fore? Or is it going to be a case of, as you were, gentlemen, at the end of the race? And don't forget, for those of you out there live on twitch.tv, the chat box is open so you can get your comments in. Like Morphe7 and Cobra75 have done so far tonight. We are here live and exclusive. And of course, if you fancy a bit of dual stream action, you can go on to both the Channel 1 and Channel 2 to see part of the Formula 1 race as well. So there's all kinds of action available here on twitch.tv from Xciteracing League. So football 676-1, getting a great run at the inside of the Dayglow BMW, being piloted by Fraser Pants, doing a great opportunity. And again, the way these drivers do different lines here is so fascinating to watch. Well, football 676-1 seems to get so much more pace out of that penultimate corner. And what a lunge that was! Football 676-1 making a fantastic late lunge over the inside for that final hairpin corner. I get a feeling it's going to be all for naught though because of the power of the BMW. But Fraser Pants will be livid at that. Where did that come from for football 676-1? Coming into the first corner, Fraser Pants trying to get on the inside. Oh, big drift from both cars there, both pushing the absolute maximum. Fraser Pants has got the bit between his teeth now because football 676-1 pretty much mugged him and made him look a bit silly into that final corner. I don't know where that came from. Football 676-1 can be mightily chuffed by that. Great driving from him. Fraser Pants getting it all totally wrong. And now he's having to go all over again. Hunt rather than hunted. But football 676-1 getting slow action off that second midfield hairpin corner there. And that's allowing Fraser Pants to start closing up. This is like a bungee rope. It's going one way then the other all the time, toing and throwing. Both drivers really having to push hard and bring in the best and worst out of each other, it has to be said. Fraser Pants looking at the back of football 676-1. If you look at the fastest lap times, a 55.9 for Skanky Bobby is a full 7/10 of a second clear of Diogo Pinto. And in fact, football 676-1 has set a better, faster lap than him in third. Fraser Pants a 56.7, then Wisner 3, 57.4, a 56.3 from Ace Killer. Great forms from him at the foot of the field. And then 58.4 for Dan RC 2010, rounding off the pace. So you've seen the drivers all going for that internal attack there, trying to get the best out of each other and push each other along. Football 676-1 using that traditional line to his advantage out of those final two corners, and that's allowed him to actually break away from Fraser Pants. And meanwhile, Diogo Pinto is closer than he's ever been. Now, I wonder if Diogo Pinto has made a mistake somewhere, because there was no way that these guys were on their pace, really. Football 676-1, while he's set a slightly faster lap, has been in the battles with Fraser Pants and been slowed up as a result of it. But Diogo Pinto, you can see, is only a couple of seconds clear of these guys. So that second place is not yet a lock. Don't count either football 676-1 or Fraser Pants. And indeed, a traffic cone has just blown across the circuit there, which makes me wonder if Dio has once again made an error. And that's allowing these guys to claw up to him, start pushing him along. And if the nerves get the better of him, Dio has shown before that he can end up going off the track. So again, anything is possible. Football 676-1 trying to break away from the fast driving Fraser Pants and the BMW M3 as Diogo Pinto tries to get the hammer down, close it all into the back of Skanky Puppy, who's got quite a big lead on him now. But crucially, get away from football 676-1 because football is not that far behind him. These two guys have really closed the gap over the last couple of laps, and it makes me wonder if we're going to see a couple of drivers having to two-stop here. Are the tyres falling away from them and making mistakes? And of course, Diogo Pinto has got form in this season of actually being disqualified for failing to pit stop. So maybe he's trying to manage his pace in order to use that and gain the advantage later. I don't know. But Diogo Pinto has got to start picking up the pace here, because otherwise those two guys are going to bear down on him and come for the spoils. Fraser Pants once again using that unusual inside line, and you get the feeling that he's slowing himself down dramatically because he's not pushing to the outside, using it, he's not getting on the throttle early enough because he's having to almost brake again to take the tighter line. And with all the marbles and the dirt and the dust, I just don't see why you take that line. Fraser Pants, for whatever reason, has confidence with it, but I just don't understand the logic. Fraser Pants going a bit deep at the end of the first corner there, and that's allowing Football 67601 to open the taps and start pulling away slightly. But just when you think these drivers are starting to pull away slightly, they have this habit of falling back into each other's clutches. So Football 67601 will be nervous of that. He'll be nervous of that form where everything's kind of bunched back together, having been far apart. Football 67601 and Fraser Pants both taking the wide line in that first corner and then going for the tighter part. It's almost similar in many ways to turns 8 and 9 at the Bahrain circuit, where the first part of the corner you ignore and then you have that really tight 90-degree left onto the DRS straight. Very similar kind of behaviour of the circuit here at Dubai's Autodrome. Now, both drivers once again starting to close the gap slightly. You can see that Diogo... Oh, mistake from Fraser Pants there. He slowed down dramatically. I don't know if he was almost having a spin there, but he managed to correct it only just. You know, Diogo Pinto responded on the last lap. He was 1/10 quicker than Football 67601, but both drivers down in the 57s, which is still adrift at the pace of Skanky Puppy. So Skanky Puppy very much has this race by the scruff of the neck. Very much his to win. Very much also his to lose. So he's got to be careful that he doesn't get overconfident and make that critical mistake. Fraser Pants taking a much more traditional line there, and you can see automatically he seems to speed up a little more, seems to get much more out of the car there by pushing to the middle of the track and getting on the throttle earlier. And he'll probably be looking and thinking under that helmet, why have I not done this earlier? That will have gained him a lot more time there, you'd expect. He's not set a fastest lap for himself, but I get the feeling it was probably a fastest third sector. And now Fraser Pants were looking to attack. Ace Killer 15, meanwhile, has quietly hauled himself up into 5th place. He didn't get that on camera, unfortunately. He's managed to get past Wisner 3. So Ace Killer 15 now, he's going to be trying to get after these guys. He's only just going up the start-finish line now, so it's still a good 10 or 15 seconds adrift of them. But that gap is coming down. That is the key thing. He's been running in the clean air. He's cleared the back markers. So he's now very much in the mix as Fraser Pants goes very, very wide there at a middle sector of hairpin chicanes. He got that completely wrong, and that's allowed Football 676 to start pulling away from him. Now Fraser Pants got to keep an eye on him in that final sector. Are we going to see him taking the more traditional line from now on, or is he going to revert back to the line he's tried and favoured more often? Fraser Pants getting up to the inside. You can see he's lost a lot of time on Football 676 as the field has started to spread out once again. Diogo Pinto now trying to attack as much as he can, and he's actually half a second down in the first sector on Football 676 and Fraser Pants combined. So Diogo Pinto now has suddenly fallen away from these guys. Diogo Pinto could be very much in trouble here, because if this pace carries on like it is, Football 676 free of any chase from behind, can start nailing these laps, being a lot more metronomic and accurate. But let's not forget, these drivers have not pitted from what I can see. The only driver I've seen go into the pits so far at the moment is Ace Killer 15. That doesn't mean they've not gone into the pits, but judging where they are on the circuit, it's not likely they have. And Football 676 riding the outside curve, you could really hear the thunder of the rumble strip there, and he's gone a 56.6. 57.5 was his best lap then, so he's actually still managed to be 0.2 of a second off, despite being so much faster through Sector 1. So evidently, Diogo Pinto is getting the confidence where it matters in that final sector, and that's allowing him to pull away at the moment. Skanky Puppy very much on his own. A lonely race from him so far. He's nowhere near the others. He's been trouble free so far. A 55.9, a good 7/10 clear on fastest lap pace. Diogo Pinto, meanwhile, it's strange because he seems to be setting faster laps than Football 676 yet I'm not seeing him pulling away. It doesn't seem to be gaining any visible advantage at the moment. But it's still early in the race yet. And actually, Ace Killer 15 has got past Fraser Pants, so he must have gone into the pits. So Fraser Pants has made his stop in the middle of the race. Now that's going to change the order quite a way, because Ace Killer 15 now, very much on his own. And that's the big question there. You can see that already Fraser Pants has fallen behind him, having gone into the pits. And Football 676 was not that far ahead of him, and neither is Diogo Pinto. So these guys could be under threat from being overhauled purely on pit stops. So they're going to have to pick up the pace if they want to keep themselves away from that conclusion. You can hear Diogo Pinto attacking, but again, very, very wide line at that penultimate series of corners. It's allowed him to get a straight line exit, but at the same time, the extra width that he's using, the dirt it's picking up on the tyres, surely makes it not worth it. And Football 676-1 decides to go into the pits now. He did cross the line a bit late there, but he's not really gained any advantage from what I can see. So Ace Killer 15, let's ride on board with him, because this is going to be critical. You see, he's already coming up towards the start-finish line now. It's Football 676-1. Oh, very ugly lag there. He's actually started reversing in the pits. That's not where he is. I got the feeling he's actually in his box as we speak. And now Ace Killer 15 coming on to the start-finish straight. So yes, Ace Killer 15 is going to jump him in the pits, and he's going to do it with absolute ease. Ace Killer 15 has got himself back into this race, because that means that Diogo Pinto will also be very close to him when he goes for his pit stop as we come up to the halfway distance in this race. So do not count Ace Killer 15 out. He's probably not going to get the race victory, because Skanky Puppy has still got a big, big lead ahead of Diogo Pinto. You can see Diogo Pinto just coming into view at the end of that start-finish straight there. You're just going through the hairpins. He's just a bit too far adrift. So even Skanky Puppy is technically not safe, because his Skanky Puppy is only, well, he's in the 56.3, so he's half a second clear on that last lap. So he has very much responded to Ace Killer 15's threat. Ace Killer 15, though, is still quicker than Diogo Pinto by 0.4 of a second on the last lap. So Ace Killer 15, if he's closing up that quickly, is going to be a threat to Diogo Pinto. Make no mistake. Meanwhile, behind them, Football 676-1, clear of Fraser Pants. Fraser Pants about 4 seconds adrift. Then we've got Wise the 3, a further 6 seconds or so back. And then Dan RC 2010. He's way down on pace, but he's in 7th place. He's going to get some decent points out of this. So it doesn't matter if he's way off the pace. That's not relevant. It's where you finish on to finish first you've got to finish. So even if you're a minute off the pace, you have to finish in order to be classified. After all, for anyone who watched the Le Mans 24 hours this season and followed Team Toyota with the car being driven by Kaz Nakajima, Anthony Davidson and Sebastian Buemi, you'll know that all too well. Leading until 3 minutes from the end, and the car let them down, allowing Porsche to claim a thoroughly undeserved victory, and then Audi to get themselves on the podium as well. I felt very bad for Toyota that day. It just goes to show that you've got to finish to classify. Look at Hamilton today. For those of you who don't know the F1 result, I'll say no more, but there's an example right there. Anything can happen in racing, and it usually does, to quote the great Murray Walker. But unfortunately, as I said before, the race has started to die down a bit. Now, interestingly, Diogo Pinto, 0.3 quicker than Skanky Puppy in the first sector. So maybe Skanky Puppy has started to burn out a little bit here as we just passed the halfway mark. So we've got 29 minutes to go here before the checkered flag with 7 racers on the field. And you can see Football 676-1 definitely went into the pits. He's showing a 2.5 minute time. So he actually lost 35 seconds going into the pits there. Now that is a big critical moment for Diogo Pinto, because Diogo Pinto is not 37 seconds clear of Ace Killer 15, and I'm not even sure if Skanky Puppy is. Skanky Puppy staying out. He's refusing to go into the box just yet. Diogo Pinto taking that strange line on the inside there. Ace Killer 15 in third. Diogo Pinto, is he going to go into the pits? Yes, he is. Diogo Pinto has dived in now. So he's learned from past mistakes where he's been disqualified and DQ'd. He's going into the box. Now the question is, how close is Ace Killer 15 going to be when he comes out of the box? Diogo Pinto pulling in. It's not a drive-through penalty. There he is. He's at his spots. He's at his marks. Now, Ace Killer 15 coming round to go onto the start-finish straight now. He's actually come very quickly here. Diogo Pinto could be in serious trouble. He's already on his way out. Diogo Pinto had a lightning quick pit stop there. These guys are going to be close, but Diogo Pinto is going to hold it. Not quite sure what happened there, viewers. Sorry, I had a bit of a mistake there. I don't quite know what happened. But Diogo Pinto has been passed by Ace Killer 15. Ace Killer 15 has just gone through it. No, he's not. Diogo Pinto has managed to maintain the lead. My computer decided to screw up there and mess things up a bit. I do apologise. And you can see that Ace Killer 15 is now close to the back of Diogo Pinto. Diogo Pinto maybe changed his tyre pressures and nothing else. But whatever it's done, it's brought these two out close together. So we have a potential battle on our hands here in the Dubai Desert on GT3 PlayStation 4 Division live and exclusive on twitch.tv for Xciteracing League, unless of course you are watching the YouTube recast, in which case put a like and subscribe to see much more from Xciteracing League. But Ace Killer 15, what a masterful strategy. He pitted in the first 6 minutes. It looked like a silly thing to do, but yet so far it's holding for him because he's only about a second adrift of what's this? Well, as is on a postcard, viewers, what the hell was that? That was breakdancing courtesy of Ace Killer 15. Breakdancing in the desert in an RUF. I don't know what the hell that was, but he's managed to get away with it. And now Ace Killer 15 bearing down on Diogo Pinto. And the fact that Diogo Pinto came out ahead of him is good news for Skanky Puppy. Skanky Puppy very much on the odds-on favourite to get the victory here today. But even so, Ace Killer 15 trying to close up to the back of Diogo Pinto in the RUF. And again, Diogo Pinto just doing enough to hang on for now. Lap time of 1:56.5 from Ace Killer 15. And he's now showing his second... Oh, interestingly, Skanky Puppy. Skanky Puppy has come out behind them. Skanky Puppy has been jumped by the pair of them in the pit. Well, that's a surprise. Skanky Puppy was well clear. I expected them two to be way behind him, but no. Diogo Pinto is now your net leader with Ace Killer 15 is second. Who says that the races are easy to predict? Because Skanky Puppy looked like he had the bell by the horns and was going to be able to wrestle it to the ground, but not today. He's come out about 4 seconds adrift of both Ace Killer and Skanky and Diogo Pinto. Drama here in the desert of Dubai. That's not what I expected to happen. He's not far adrift of these guys, so it's going to be very much a three-way scrap for victory as we go into the final 25 minutes of this race. Absolutely critical that these drivers all hang on and do the best that they can. Ace Killer 15 really trying to attack as much as possible. Looking at the back of Diogo Pinto. Lap times, meanwhile, he's good 2/10 clear at the moment. Ace Killer 15 much faster at this moment in time than Diogo Pinto. Ace Killer 15 could be on for an unexpected victory here because of a monster stroke at the start of the race to get himself out of the battles and allow him to protect his tyres. Instead of the likes of, big mistake there for Diogo Pinto, goes very, very wide. And that's allowed Ace Killer 15 to get right up close to the back of him. Ace Killer 15 has flip reversed this and got himself right in the chance now of taking victory here in Dubai. Against all odds. Getting the power down, getting deep into the slipstream of the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Ace Killer 15 fancies his chances here. He's really got an opportunity. Gets deep in the slipstream, maximum speed, maximum attack. Can he get into the look underneath? He's going for it. A big lunge there. Daniel Ricciardo-esque. He had to back out of that at the last second. That was brave drive from Ace Killer 15. A great response from Diogo Pinto as well, who saw him coming, saw him bearing down him, and did not get out of the way, did not flinch, did not change course. Beautiful driving for the pair of them. And that actually works in the favour of Skanky Puppy because that gap has come down. Ace Killer 15 leading in second place ahead of Skanky Puppy. Diogo Pinto clinging onto the lead like a wraith at the moment, like a sailor clinging onto some flotsam and jetsam in the ocean. But Diogo Pinto is just about hanging on. Ace Killer 15 getting deep into the slipstream, heading towards this hairpin bend, trying to get a chance to look on the inside, get that lunge once again. Diogo Pinto on the brakes a bit earlier there, swings out out wide. Ace Colour 15 takes a tighter line, tries to get on the traction a bit early. Skunky Puppy coming along for the ride. These three closing up to each other. Drama here as these guys all go all out attack in the desert. And here in Dubai, this is a bit of a classic despite the depleted grid, despite the lower attendance, despite the late switching channel. Ultimately, it's a chance here. Ace Killer 15 gets on the attack as much as he can. Tries to really go aggressive here. Opportunistic driving potentially. Ace Killer 15 watches as Diogo Pinto once again goes wide onto the marbles. But Skunky Puppy, meanwhile, has quietly got a great drive here and has really got close to the back. These three now separated by only about 2 seconds. We're on for an absolute scrap here at the end. Ace Killer 15 getting a great run on the inside there. Oh, big mistake. What was that for Skunky Puppy? Skunky Puppy has dropped in the final corner. Totally unforced error into the wall. He's now spinning the car around. That's a disastrous mistake for Skunky Puppy. We saw it in Monza. We saw the pressure and he cracked on the pressure cooker there. And he's done it again here in Dubai, having been jumped in the pits by both Diogo Pinto and Ace Killer 15. He's dropped it at the worst possible moment and lost out on a certain chance at victory. And that's now going to be an absolutely livid moment. He will be furious with himself that that's happened. Ace Killer 15 now has it all to do. There's 21 minutes to go in this race, live and exclusive on Twitch.tv. This is an opportunity now for Ace Killer 15 to get himself into the front, get himself back on the attack, but he's got to make this work. He's really got to work hard. And Ace Killer 15 not being made it easy by Diogo Pinto, but again, Diogo Pinto taking a more traditional line there. Defensive driving when he's seen how close Ace Killer 15 has got. These two now are going to be at it with shield and sword all the way to the end of the race. 20 minutes to go here. Can Diogo Pinto hang on? Can he cling to that victory? Or will Ace Killer 15 be able to overcome the odds of that pit stop in the first 5 minutes and get himself onto the top step of the podium? Ace Killer 15 looks on the inside. Oh, great attempt there, but he's just not close enough. Real opportunistic driving now. Ace Killer 15 trying to get on the inside of that final hairpin corner on the back of Diogo Pinto. This is a real opportunity now. Gets deep in the slipstream. Diogo Pinto really trying to pull away from Ace Killer 15, who's really on a charge in the RUF. All out assault. 19 minutes to go. The clock counting down like the doomsday clock here. Ace Killer 15 gets a bit wide. Ambitious on the brakes there. Uses the extra depth though to push on and go wide to attack the back of the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. It's Germany versus Britain. Two drivers who have both won races, both got the pedigree to be champions, both on the attack. Ace Killer 15 possibly dropped away a little bit actually from the back of Diogo Pinto, even though his last lap was 3/10 quicker. And interestingly, let's go behind them meanwhile. Well, wouldn't you believe it? Football 67611 and Fraser Pants are once again sewn together in war. Well, heads or tails, which battle do we follow here? Do we follow the bottom of the podium where these guys have been covering and doing battles all day? Or do we go to the front of the field? Because both the series are very, very close indeed. Let's get back to the top of the order, and you can see that Diogo Pinto has broken away a little bit. So for now, these two are the closest on track. We'll stay with them shortly, but it won't be for long, because I get the feeling that Ace Killer 15 is going to start to reel in Diogo Pinto. Diogo Pinto knows he has a chance to get a legitimate victory. He's had 2 of them taken away because of disqualifications. This is his chance to redeem himself. This is his chance to bring himself back to the front. Meanwhile, on the stream, Morphe7 is saying, "Come on, England." I'm guessing you're backing the Astons though on that one. A great performance there. Meanwhile, looking at this, an inter-German battle between the Fraser Pants and Football 676 number 1. Coming off that hairpin corner, Football 676 number 1 didn't quite have the pace there. Fraser Pants getting a decent run in the BMW M3. I'm going to follow this on board for one more lap here, because I get the feeling that Fraser Pants is going to have an opportunity to out-drag the RUF down to the first corner. We've seen him showing monumental pace off this final corner. Gets deep into the toe, gets the V8 engine screaming power. 17.5 minutes to go here in the desert of Dubai. Gets deep into the slipstream. Fraser Pants, is he going to make a late lunge? No, he's not. Great telegraph drive for Football 676 to 1 to block him off in the middle of the circuit. Up ahead, meanwhile, Ace Killer 15 slowly dropping away a little bit from the back of Diogo Pinto. So the Aston Martins reasserting authority here, backing the Brits as they can to get themselves towards the flag here in the Middle East, to get a vital victory, to get himself back towards the title hunt, because Diogo Pinto has broken the gap a little bit. It's not by much, but it's enough to get him away at the moment. Going back to 4th position, Fraser Pants getting deep into the slipstream. Football 676 number 1. These drivers putting on an absolute clinic of driving here tonight. It's been aggressive, it's been harsh, but it's been fair. All the drivers have been really pushing the envelope to show maximum pace and getting those points as best as they can. You can see here that Fraser Pants dropped away a little bit in the Dago BMW from the back of Football 676 number 1 in the RUF. Maybe he had a slow middle sector there, got one of the hairpins wrong a little bit, and that's allowed Football to open that gap back up. Just when you think they're closing together, he gets that extra bit of push that allows him to get further on. Meanwhile, Ace Killer 15, again, he's now started favouring that inside line, bizarrely. And he's trying to go to the back of Diogo Pinto and the Aston Martin, who has broken away a little bit on the last lap alone. Even though he was still 0.4 of a second slower on his fastest lap, he was a second quicker on the last lap. This time, 0.6 quicker. So that's 1.5 seconds pulled out in just 2 laps from Diogo Pinto. That's almost Schumacher-esque in the way that you could just, it's like, we need magic laps. Okay, bang, 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 4 fastest laps in a row. Not good enough for you, Ross. That'll do, thank you. Very similar kind of performance from Diogo Pinto there, in the way that he's just dragged that performance out of the car when he needed it. And that's the worst feeling in the world when you're chasing. You're chasing a car and then the driver just goes, okay, I don't think so. Push the pedal to the floor and you're left behind wondering how to close the gap. However, speaking of closing the gap, Dan RC 2010 gets totally out of the way. As he's being lapped there, he almost had to switch the engine off. He had to slow down so much. And that may have cost the time to Diogo Pinto, because that gap appears to have come down a little bit. That gap has dropped. So Ace Killer 15 has started to reel him back in. It's very much a case of, you go first, I'll go second. Let's see who's got the pace. But a bit of a mistake there from Ace Killer 15. Struggling to get the traction down in the RUF. And that's allowing Diogo Pinto to break away that little bit slowly. But we've seen Ace Killer 15 do this before. We've seen him pull pace out of nowhere when he needs it. We've seen Dio do it in this race. Can Ace Killer respond? Ace Killer 15 taking that more unconventional middle line, getting the power out of the RUF as much as he can. Diogo Pinto has started to call back into his clutches once again here. Looking at the laps, looking at the split deltas, it's not give us the actual deltas unfortunately, so I don't know where he's actually lost that time, Dio, but going through to the start finish straight now, a 56.0 is the fastest lap so far from Ace Killer 15. He's just done a 57.9, whereas Dio did a 58.4, so half a second clawed back, just like that, whereas Football 676 to 1 opened a 1.2 second gap on Fraser Pants on the last lap. And even though Fraser Pants now actually holds the fastest lap, because Skanky Puppy is all the way down in 6th place. Skanky Puppy is down in 6th. I wonder what's happened to Skanky. Did he have to go back into the pits maybe? But he's all the way down in 6th place. He was dominant in the practice. He did a great qualifying to get himself on pole by a 10th. And then dominated the first half of the race but then it's all unravelled for him. It's just all come crashing down around him. Skanky Puppy has failed to convert once again. And it makes you wonder just what's happening. Is it the pressure of being last season's champion and defending the title, finding yourself not at the front and having to claw yourself back into the hunt? Who knows? But whatever it is, what's this from Xciteracing? Oh, it was Dan RC 2010 once again. Slow it down. I thought that was an error from Xciteracing there that was putting his car out to pasture, but it wasn't for now. But Diogo Pinto, again, that gap has come down. Even though they were barely together, he's closed 2/10 in the second sector. This is a real danger lap here for Diogo Pinto. Diogo Pinto has got to be careful. We've got 12 minutes to go. We're right near the end of the race now. Diogo Pinto can still lose this. Diogo Pinto cannot throw it away. He's got to try and hang on. But Xciteracing, who's been on these tyres now since pretty much the start of the race, after that pit stop with over 54 minutes to go, has made this work. Xciteracing has dragged himself from the very bottom of the field up to second place. So he's on for 18 points already, but he wants the maximum. He wants to really stamp his authority on this title. Looking at the split times on the last lap, they were practically identical. Diogo Pinto pulling it all back together in the final sector on a 57-1. Really great performance from him. Moving back through the field, football 6-7-6-1. Again, he's broken away a little bit from Fraser Pants. And big wide line there for Diogo Pinto. That's encouraging for Xciteracing. Oh, but look at that corner cut on the inside there. He went all four tyres over the inside there, Xciteracing. And that's a bit naughty. Do that too many times and you will be seen as gaining an advantage. And that's where you can get race penalties. We don't want that. After a race that's been so much of a joy to watch, so clean and so aggressive in the way they've driven, it's been aggressive, but it's been fair. It's been really hardcore, high-octane action. We don't want to see that unravel because of penalties now. That's the last thing we need. Coming into this hairpin corner, you can see Xciteracing going a bit too tight to the inside there, and that's slowed him down. And that's allowing Diogo Pinto once again to open the gap. He's like he's afraid of pushing to the outside. It's like he doesn't want to use the whole of the track. And Diogo Pinto is gaining as a result because he's not afraid of hanging his rear end right over the ragged edge. And that's the difference that can make between a great and a good driver. Diogo Pinto just about hanging on for now. Coming into the middle side, you can see there that Diogo Pinto once again taking that wide line, and he's gone very, very much to the inside before that penultimate corner. Not quite sure what he was aiming for there. There's not much grip on the outside. Hang on. Oh, I thought I saw Diogo Pinto going into the pits then. I just saw a car pulling off to the right and I thought, has Diogo Pinto gone in? No, he hasn't. There was a bit of a false alarm, but going for the start-finish straight, you can see once again 57-1s. Both drivers on identical times, but crucially, that little few hundredths of a second difference is in the favour of Diogo Pinto. Diogo Pinto just about hanging on for now, but there's 10 minutes to go. That's 5 laps. Anything can happen in 5 laps. Look at Skanky Puppy with that spin at the final corner. It can happen. You can make these mistakes. Are they going to have enough fuel? Will the tyres hold on? These drivers have got all these kind of variables going around in their heads at the moment, and they've got to make them stick. They've got to make them work. Diogo Pinto getting a decent line on the inside, attacking as much as possible. Xciteracing in the RUF, doing everything possible to attack the back of the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Xciteracing in the RUF looking to do everything possible. Oh, very wide line there for Diogo Pinto. Xciteracing taking a much more traditional line. But again, he turns a bit too tightly to the inside, and that's slowing him down that little bit. However, Diogo Pinto looks a little bit closer than he has been in the last couple of laps. So Xciteracing will now be fancying his chances. They will be chomping at the bit to get closer to the back of Diogo Pinto. Indeed, that gap has come down. Diogo Pinto is under pressure now. The pressure will be on, and the race is definitely hotting up. Xciteracing looking to get close to the back of the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Both drivers going wide wide on the outside there, trying to use a more unconventional line, maybe trying to cool the tyres off by staying away from the hot rubber. And the Ace Colour 15 missing the apex there at the penultimate corner, going wide, drifting a little too close to the outside AstroTurf, and that is going to slow him down. It's going to cost him a tenth or two. However, you can see that Diogo Pinto has not had it all his own way either, because he's closer than he has been for some time, going over the start-finish line. You can see, look at that, nearly a second quicker from Ace Colour 15. Ace Colour 15 has really brought that gap right down. Wherever Diogo Pinto made the mistake, it's brought him right back into the battle now. What did I tell you? 5 laps to go, anything can happen. Ace Colour 15 has brought the chaos at the final part of the race here. He's brought the thunder and he's brought the lightning. Ace Colour 15 looking to attack the back of Diogo Pinto and the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Dio's got to try and make this race last. He's got to try and channel Nico Hulkenberg at the 2013 South Korea Grand Prix when he held off Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso despite being in a much slower vehicle. That's what Diogo Pinto has to try and do. But we've seen that Ace Colour 15 has that ability to charge, as again Diogo Pinto goes very wide over to the outside there, and that's allowing Ace Colour 15 to get closer all the time. Ace Colour 15 really fancies his chances here. This is an opportunity to get himself yet another victory, 25 more points, and get that grip on the championship trophy. This is an opportunity here. Ace Colour 15, for those of you who've watched on the stream tonight, how's it been on the audio? Has it been okay to just listen on the channel direct from the PlayStation 4? So, because one of the things that it will let me do in the future is it will allow us to actually have drivers in after the race for comments on the race itself. So what do you think? Give us your feedback as Ace Colour 15 really closes up the gap. Meantime, on the stream, Morphy7 saying, come on Bond, drop the off stick. Oh, drop the oil slick. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen now. Off stick, what was that about? Drop the oil slick 007. Well, we've seen stranger things happen in racing before. We've seen all kinds of craziness happen on the circuits. Who knows? Maybe we'll go a bit Mario Kart. I don't know. But Ace Colour 15 hanging on as much as he can, pushing the outside of the envelope there. And Diogo Pinto really close. Now, look how that is. That's really close between these two. Ace Colour 15 is absolutely on it, really attacking as much as possible. And again, 0.3 of a second taken out of Diogo Pinto. These drivers really close on the circuit. Morphy7 meanwhile saying audio is fine, no difference. Well, that's a surprise considering that I'm using a headset microphone rather than a handheld mic. I guess I can be a bit more like David Croft rather than Tom Clarkson, who knows. Going over to the inside there, great performance so far from Ace Colour 15, who's dragged himself from the back of the field. But Diogo Pinto, shout out to him because it looked like he was doomed to second place, middle of the road, pick up points, and then he capitalised by getting the pace when it mattered before the pit stops. And was that the key straw that broke the camel back for Skanky? Seeing these guys undercut him and having to battle back and push on, making him make that fatal mistake. Who knows? But we're into the final 5 minutes. Behind them, meanwhile, off screen, I do apologise, I didn't catch it, but Fraser Pants got ahead of Football 67611 to get himself into provisional P3. But all eyes are on the front of the field as Diogo Pinto and Ace Colour 15 start to wind the race down. We've got 5 minutes to go. Ace Colour 15 once again not pushing quickly enough on the outside there. He's just not getting enough power out of the car, and that's allowing Diogo Pinto to get that critical extra pace when it matters. Diogo Pinto just dragging that extra life out. But Ace Colour 15, look at this, he's really pushing on in the RUF. He's doing all he can to pressure Diogo Pinto into making that fatal error. But so far, Diogo Pinto absorbing it like a sponge, and Ace Colour 15 is going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. And I don't think he's averse to doing that, but he's going to have to push hard. And again, that may be a critical mistake right there. Diogo Pinto feinting left when he didn't need to, and that's allowed Ace Colour 15 to get a little extra pace at that penultimate corner. So now he's really close going to the start-finish line. That could be a critical move there as he gets deep into the slipstream. Looking at the lap times, he was a full 0.2 of a second only, but what 0.2 of a second they were. Gets deep into the slipstream, Diogo Pinto. Can he get closer to have a lunge? There's only 4 minutes to go here in this race. He's just not close enough at this time. Diogo Pinto managing to resist. Ace Killer 15 looks as close as he can to the inside corner, clips the inside apex beautifully. Diogo Pinto leads from the front though, and these two drivers are pretty much nailed on pace at the moment. Diogo Pinto goes wide. That might allow Ace Killer 15 to start closing up. Oh, a bit of a mistake there. Not sure if that was because Diogo Pinto turned too early and Ace Killer had to get out the throttle. Whatever it was, Ace Killer seemed to lose a bit of time there to make up what he gained on Diogo Pinto. But Diogo Pinto leading on, these two really attacking here. We're going to have one more lap after this, and that's going to be it for the race. Really close stuff in. Ace Killer 15 pushing it all the way to the wire. It's going right down to the end of the race. The final seconds are going to matter more than any. Getting into the slipstream, getting into the tight hairpin corner. Ace Killer 15 once again not quite getting the traction out of that critical hairpin, and that's allowing Diogo Pinto to pull away when it matters. Ace Killer 15 pushing to the outside line. Won't give it that mistake from Diogo Pinto trying to psych him out, make him go a bit too deep, but Ace Killer 15 just not applying the pressure at the right time, and Diogo Pinto masterfully defensive driving to the inside, hanging in the middle of the circuit similar to XRL LGS in the F1 days, doing all he can to make it difficult for drivers to follow and get that critical pass. It's difficult to sell a dummy on either side when the driver is hugging the middle of the circuit like an OAP on the motorway. Coming into the penultimate corner, Ace Killer 15 hanging on. He's not too close enough yet. He's not close enough to make a lunge at that final hairpin corner, but he is getting closer all the time. We're going to have time for 1.5 laps maybe. That's all we're going to get. But looking at the lap times, critical. 0.3 of a second for Diogo Pinto, pulling that pace out when he needed it. Diogo Pinto has probably just made it clear that he's going to win this race with that 0.3 of a second he pulled out of the bag when he needed that. At the last critical seconds of the race, he's pulled that pace, and now Ace Killer 15 has fallen back, and I think that's going to pretty much settle it for now. Well, Diogo Pinto has been pushed all the way by Ace Killer 15. These two have been together since halfway through the race. It's been that close for half an hour. These two have been battling hammer and tongs, heads and tails all the way so far. It's been a joy to watch, and I thank you all for joining me live here on twitch.tv, live and exclusive for Xciteracing League. And of course, if you're watching this on the YouTube recast, drop a like and subscribe and any comments you want. There's plenty of videos to watch on the channel and much more content coming in the future. But Ace Killer 15 now trying desperately one final charge. Can he get that critical pass before the timer runs out? Diogo Pinto gets a decent line off that penultimate series of hairpins though, and I think that's pretty much last chance saloon running out of whiskey for Ace Killer 15 as we come into this middle sector. Oh, but Diogo Pinto gets a little wide there. That might give some courage to Ace Killer 15. We've got literally 65 seconds to go. We're into the final minutes. Anything can happen now between these two. It's going to be all out attack. Are they going to get round enough for one final hurrah into the first corner as Diogo Pinto goes wide? Diogo Pinto makes a critical error, and that allows Ace Killer 15 to close on the gap. Unbelievably, just when you think he's got it sewed up, Diogo Pinto may possibly snatch defeat from the jaws of victory here as Ace Killer 15 comes into the final hairpin corner. He's closer than he has ever been. This is it, the final chance. We're going on to the final start-finish straight here. 30 seconds to go. Ace Killer 15 gets deep into the slipstream of Diogo Pinto. Diogo Pinto, though, I think he's got the legs. I think Diogo Pinto's just done enough here to hang on, but this is going to be monumentally close. 15 seconds to go. Ace Killer 15 is watching, hoping for some critical loss of traction, loss of power, anything that can give him a chance to get the move. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And there it is. Ace Killer 15 has just run out of time. Fraser passed me well. Credit to him for third place. Football 67621 in fourth. Skanky Bobby a disappointed fifth. Wisner 3 a battered sixth. And then Dan RC 2010 a very slow seventh. But well, you've got to give credit to Ace Killer 15 and Diogo Pinto. They have just put on an absolute masterclass of driving. Right up to the dying seconds, they were dueling. And that is what Xciteracing League is all about. The fastest drivers, the fairest drivers, and the most impressive drivers to watch. If you fancy yourself one of those drivers in the future, get on the communities here on the PlayStation 4 network. And of course, check out the website, xciteracingleague.com, as well as the YouTube channel for much more content. But Diogo Pinto, a magnificent performance to resist all that pressure. Ace Killer 15, he'll be disappointed that he didn't quite get that critical timing that he needed to overhaul him, but he'll be pleased to have come all the way from the back of the field to finish in second, especially considering that Skanky Puppy is all the way down in fifth. So they both come across the start-finish line for the final time just to make sure they're 100% classified, and that was a magnificent performance from the pair of them. Great job. Meanwhile, Fraser Pants has now broken well clear of football 67611. He's just about to come down to the start-finish straight now, and this is a great recovery drive from Fraser Pants, having been passed quite a few times, had a few collisions, but he'll be very, very happy indeed to cross that start-finish line in third. Meanwhile, behind him, oh no! Football 67601! Football 67601 has stole it! Fraser Pants was too busy celebrating, and Football 67601, similar to Rubens Barrichello at the 2001 Indianapolis Grand Prix, has stolen it right at the start-finish line. That is the most opportunistic thing I've ever seen. He had no rear wing, and he had absolutely no chance. Fraser Pants will be furious. He didn't slow down at the right time. He pulled to the inside, celebrated with the pit crew, and Football 67601 has just gone, thank you very much. Crossed the start-finish line and taken third in the most bizarre fashion I've ever seen. Just when you think you've seen it all, something like that happens. He's got no rear end, he's got no rear bumper, and yet he's in third. What the hell just happened? Skanky Puppy will be angry to have come down in fifth place, having led the race so dominantly. Meanwhile, Weister 3 slowing down to let the automated cars go through, because that's the two leaders. He's trundling along very, very slowly, but Dan RC 2010 has retired in the pits. So there's no real loss there to him. So, well, what a performance that was from Ace Killer 15 and Diogo Pinto. And Football 67611, the most opportunistic driving I've ever seen. On the screen, Morphy7 simply sums up by saying, LOL, oops. I couldn't have said it better myself. What a bizarre way to lose a podium. That is absolutely bizarre. Very, very strange indeed. Well, let's bring up the final results for you then. We've got Diogo Pinto, he's on first place, magnificent performance from him. Ace Killer 15, very fair driving, but just ran out of time and ran out of laps. Football 67601, proving you should never, ever give up until the checkered flag waves in front of you. The race is not over to take the most opportunistic third place I've ever seen. Fraser Pants in fourth place, he will be absolutely furious that he allowed that to happen. He will be kicking himself in the groin. I'm absolutely sure of that. Skanky Puppy, we're following him on track at the moment. He'll be very disappointed to have ended up finishing fifth, having looked so dominant in the first half of the race. He will be very, very angry indeed. And then Dan RC 2010, the last classified finisher, despite three laps down, because Weister 3 has not crossed the finish line. So we've only had 6 finishers. We've had one finisher finish on the podium in the most bizarre way possible, and Diogo Pinto and Ace Killer put on a classic. Well, that's XRL in a nutshell all the time. Thank you all very much for watching live and exclusive on twitch.tv. This has been Xciteracing League. I've been Peter Marcroft. Thank you all very much, and good night.